Good evening, this is the Dean of All Things Spicy with Conjured Vapors Peppers, and I'm here to do a pepper review for you today. So Clayton Hollingsworth sent me some pods, and this happens to be one of them. This is a Tombstone Ghost. A little pod. I like his shape. Cut her open with my handy dandy knife. See what she looks like on the inside. Ooh, now that's a Chinense smell. It's a very strong Chinense aroma. Yes. That's the inside of the Tombstone Ghost. Let's taste it and see how she tastes. Tombstone Ghost. Hmm. That's an interesting pepper. It's a flavor I've never tasted before. Um, Started out with a slightly savory flavor. No fruitiness, no sweetness. Then it turned to bitter, but it was an unusual type of bitter. I can't put my finger on it. It's different than any bitter note I've ever tasted before. It's not bad per se, just different. It kind of hit home a little uniquely. Even the aftertaste, it's still lingering, and it's still that same bitter flavor. The heat level's climbing still. It is a ghost pepper. The burn is mostly front half of my tongue, front half of the roof of my mouth. Little tiny bit in the upper part of my throat. Not, usually when I say it hits the throat, it's down in here. This one's up here by the nasal cavity. So I don't think this is any hotter than your average ghost. I'm not even sure it's a million Scoville heat units. It hasn't hit my nose yet. Usually, if I'm hitting right around a million, my nose will start to. I'll have to sniff. It won't run, but And so far, that hasn't happened. But I'm still waiting. It's still climbing. That's the interesting thing about most ghost varieties. When you eat like a Carolina Reaper or Maruga or a Scorpion, Maruga Scorpion, or anything that's higher than about 1.4 million Scoville heat units, the heat level ramps up right away. The ghost pepper is a very, 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 very slow climb. It just kind of goes like this, and then eventually it'll come down at that same slow heat level. So it has peaked. I'm thinking this one was only around 800,000 Scoville heat units. The burn stayed right where I told you it was. Front half of my tongue, front half of the roof of my mouth. And I still have that bitter aftertaste. That's a very unique pod. I have never tasted that flavor before. It's an interesting flavor. Trying to think, if I were to cook with this pod, I would probably attempt to use it in culinary use. I'm trying to think of what exactly the pairing feels like it would go well with. Bitter flavors are a little different because you don't want to really affect the flavor of your food. But I'm thinking if you have a strong flavored fish dish, like barramundi. I don't know if you've ever had barramundi. It's a delicious fish. But because of the strong flavor of that fish, I think that this pod would go well with barramundi. Especially if you pair barramundi with a side dish such as, well, um, a starchy side dish. Really, any starchy side dish of your choice. This would go well. And now I'm starting to feel the nasal thing a little bit. So I'm thinking maybe 900,000 on the Scoville heat scale, maybe approaching a million. There we go. I just sniffed. I'm telling you, right at a million, that's what happens. I feel it every time. So I'm thinking this is 900,000 to a million. No higher than that, though. Yeah, interesting pepper. If you have a chance to grow it just to see if you have that interesting experience like I did. I don't really know what else to say about this pepper except it's extremely unique. It is 100% a completely different flavor than anything I've eaten before. Anyway, have a beautiful night. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Dean of All Things Spicy with Conjure Vapors Peppers. I'm out.